Following video is not made for kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello to my subscribers, this is the Tiafangi coming to you with a video review that I've been wanting to do for a long time. It is long overdue, so without further delay, we will get right into it. Here is the Transformers Warfare Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom Deluxe Class Autobot Pipes. Pipes, along with Kingdom Slammer, is one of the last two deluxe figures to be released in the Kingdom line. And originally Pipes was supposed to be released in Wave 4 instead of Wave 5, and evidence of that can be found here on his number. Pipes is the 32nd figure to be released in the Transformers Kingdom line. Slammer is number 33, and the reason why I say that they were originally going to be released in Wave 4 is because the numbers on the two deluxe figures that were released in Wave 4 of the Kingdom line, which are Predacon, Shadow Panther, and Waspinator. Shadow Panther and Waspinator's numbers are 31 and 34. Pipes and Slammer were originally supposed to be released in Wave 4. Hasbro never made any announcement why Pipes and Slammer were delayed. As you can see, I have Slammer right here still inside his box. I'm hoping to review him next. But yes, I'm really excited to finally have these guys, even though they were delayed until the 5th wave of the Kingdom line. So here is Pipes inside of his box. You've got Pipes sitting inside of there. You got some nice artwork of his vehicle mode, of a blue semi-truck. You've got him here in his robot mode. He is an Autobot. You got the Warfare Cybertron Trilogy poster image here on this side of the box. Going around here to the back of the box, you've got Pipes again. And these are the official Podvos. You got him in his robot mode, in his vehicle mode of a navy blue semi-truck. He transforms back and forth between both modes in 17 steps. And just like his original Transformers Generation 1 figure, Pipes is a repaint and slight retool of Kingdom Huffer. And technically, even though Pipes was the second version of this mold that was announced to exist, he was technically the last version of the mold to be released again, since he was delayed from being released until Wave 5 of Kingdom instead of being released originally like he was in Wave 4 or so. This mold has been used 4 times in addition to Kingdom Huffer, which I have right here. This mold was used since Pipes was announced to exist second. Technically, this mold was used the 3rd and 4th time on the Amazon Golden Disc exclusive 2-pack, which contains Autobot Road Ranger and also Autobot Puffer. I already did reviews on Huffer as well as the Road Ranger and Puffer Golden Disc 2-pack. And out of all 4 of the figures, Puffer's the one who is closest to Pipes, and I will explain why that is in just a moment. But yeah, there's one last look at Pipes inside of his box. So without further delay, let's get him out of the box and reunite him with his fellow Autobot semi-trucks, and just see how incredible looking he is close up. Alright, and so before we get into the actual Pipes action figure itself, first we will take a look at the card that Pipes came with, and it is none other than the Chaos Bringer himself, Unicron. And one thing I love about the cards with Unicron on them is because Unicron is neither an Autobot nor a Decepticon, instead of a red or purple background, Unicron actually has a greenish-brown background on here to show that he's neither an Autobot nor a Decepticon, but he's as evil as they come. And it's been a while since I've looked at the other cards I've gotten with my Kingdom action figures, but I think even the back of the card that has Unicron on it is a different color. Instead of gold, it's dark. It's like it has a black tinge to it. And peeling the sticker back, the sticker on the front of the card is Unicron's robot mode, and on the back you've got Unicron in his planet mode, and he's about to devour Cybertron. So yes, I believe Unicron was the final collector card that you could get with the Transformers Kingdom figures. So it's nice that Pipes is hopefully the first one of these Unicron cards that I got in here. Some of the cards that started off rare when the Kingdom line first released, such as Dinobot, ended up becoming common as more action figures came out. Thought I read on the Transformers Wikipedia that there's up to 10 collector cards that you can collect in the Kingdom line. Might have said 12, I can't remember for certain. I apologize for not double checking on it, but without further delay, here is Pipes in his robot mode, and I gotta say, Pipes is very impressive looking. For most Transformers collectors, as I mentioned earlier, Pipes is the fourth version of this mold that most collectors have gotten a hold of. But I really do enjoy Pipes' paint job. I've always navy blue is one of my favorite colors, so I've always enjoyed the paint job that Pipes has over Huffer. I've always really liked looking at it a lot more. So as you can see, Huffer and Pipes have different accessory pieces. Huffer comes with this riot shield with defensive spikes at the end of it, and he's got a laser gun and that splits into two halves to form the back of his truck bed. And then of course Pipes lives up to his name by having a pair of laser guns that look like lead pipe. They look like pipes here on his arms. On the original Generation 1 action figure, Pipes didn't have actual robot mode hands at the end of his arms. He had arms. What it was the smokestacks of his truck mode that actually became his arms. So Pipes was actually given hands in a couple of screenshots in the Transformers Generation 1 cartoon. There's also a couple of scenes in the G1 cartoon series where Sunbow Studios gave Pipes the exhaust pipes from his vehicle mode as his as his forearms. So instead of having actual fists, he just had a pair of laser gun barrels at the end of his arms here. I believe the first time Pipes had hands after the G1 cartoon was in his comic book appearances, so that's where the design of him having actual robot mode hands on him came from. And I showed this off when I reviewed Road Ranger and Puffer, but in addition to his paint job, Pipes actually has two different sculpted detailings. He has a brand new robot mode head right here, as you can see, and Pipes' face, his head sculpt, it is different from all the others. I'll show that off in just a moment. But yeah, Pipes does have a head that's based off of his animation model from the G1 series. And then, of course, Pipes has the one retooled part where there's an extra swivel joint. You can see it right in there. There's an extra swivel joint inside the truck cab. If I fold the truck cab back, you can see the extra swivel joint better. There it is right there. And the extra swivel joint allows the truck cab to rotate around and allow Pipes to look more like his original Transformers Generation 1 figure. So with the truck cab becoming his backpack, you have two options. You can either leave it hanging upward or have it angled downward like that. I like the angled downward look better, even though having it facing forward is slightly more accurate to Pipes' appearance in the G1 series, trying to get it straightened out so the angle works out properly. And yes, I've already seen from other video reviews, this right here is the only Autobot logo Pipes has on him. It was one of two logos that the original G1 Pipes figure had. But the other Autobot logo that Pipes had was a rub sign, so that's been omitted from the Kingdom figure. And just like here on the Kingdom figure, the Autobot logo was off-center on the original Generation 1 version of Pipes, so that is accurate to his G1 appearance. But again, as I said, I've always enjoyed Pipes' primarily a navy blue paint job. So even though the paint job is one of the main differences Pipes has going for him to distinguish him from Huffer and now also Road Ranger and Puffer, it's enough of a distinction that he stands out from the rest of them, I believe. So again, here is Pipes next to Kingdom Huffer, and as you can see, Huffer has a head sculpt that was based off of his animation model, and Pipes has one off of his animation model. And the original head sculpts for the robot modes of these figures, Sunbow Studios didn't think they were that interesting, and they kind of aren't, because Road Ranger has the Generation 1 Huffer action figure head sculpt, where he's got a visor and a mouth plate, and it's a similar situation with Puffer. Puffer has a head sculpt that's actually based more off of Generation 1 Pipes' head sculpt that Hasbro designed for Pipes. So on the Generation 1 action figure, Pipes had a visor just like Puffer now has. But Sunbow Studios decided that a visor didn't quite suit well for Pipes, so they gave him an actual pair of eyes. on here, and so that's what Pipes has on him. Alright, and just because I know you guys want to see them all standing next to each other, here is every version of this mold. Here is Kingdom Pipes standing beside his mold mates Huffer, Road Ranger, and Puffer. So again, and I know it's kind of difficult to see them all at a distance, and the way I have them standing up, they're angled backwards slightly so you can see their faces more properly, but again, every version of this mold has its own distinct head sculpt. Again, Huffer and Pipes have the face sculpts that Sumbo Studios gave them for the G1 cartoon series, and then Road Ranger and Puffer have the head sculpts that the original action figures came with. Road Ranger has G1 Huffer's action figure head, and Puffer has the head sculpt that was given on the original Generation 1 Pipes action figure. So it is pretty neat seeing them all standing next to each other again. I'm really happy to finally have Pipes out of his box and seeing all four of them standing next to each other again. And Pipes does have the one retool part where the truck mode is facing the opposite direction from Huffer. And what happened is, the way the original Transformers Generation 1 figure transformed was, you can't really do it here with the Kingdom figures, but essentially the way the Generation 1 action figures transformed, the front section of Huffer's robot mode ended up being the back of Pipes' robot mode, and vice versa. So, sorry, their laser guns are getting in the way, but yeah, on the original Generation 1 action figures, the way they transformed, this was actually the front of Huffer, which was the back of Pipes, and vice versa. So I think it's incredible that the designers at Hasbro and Takara were able to design this figure so that rather than having the robot mode facing the opposite direction, they just added an extra swivel joint so you could switch the truck cab around and have it facing the opposite direction, and you end up having robot modes that pretty much match up their cartoon appearances. Pipes is also somewhat special, since this video review is focusing on him. He's somewhat special in that during the 5-part episode that started off Season 3 of the G1 cartoon series, 5 Faces of Darkness, Pipes had, he led the Minibots in battle against Trypticon and tried to stop Trypticon from destroying the Ark. So Pipes had, I believe he had, out of all of the 1986 / Season 3 Minibots, he had the most lines of dialogue, and he was basically the most prominently featured out of all of the 1986 Minibots, except for Wheelie. So if you include Wheelie, Pipes was the second most prominently featured Minibot. He was the most prominent of all the Minibots who were repaints and retools of Minibots from the 1984 lineup. And because of that, even though Pipes, as far as popularity of Transformers characters go, even though Pipes is closer to Huffer and also Road Ranger and Puffer in being one of the less well-known Transformers characters, he's become a more liked and well-received Transformers character than Huffer is, even though Huffer was the original character to use this mold. That's one of the rare occurrences where one of the repainted figures has become a more liked Transformers character than the original. So people have viewed Pipes as being somewhat of a go-getter since he led the Minibots in charging against Trypticon, and people have viewed Huffer as being somewhat of a whiner due to his first 2 speaking roles in the cartoon series. Huffer complained was trapped under a pile of debris when the Decepticons blew up an oil derrick. And then in the next scene, he pointed out to Optimus Prime that the Autobots weren't exactly built to be warriors like the Decepticons, so he had little faith that they would be victorious in battle. So that's one of the reasons why Pipes has become a more popular character amongst Transformers fans who know who both Huffer and Pipes are, since Huffer was a whiner and Pipes has been viewed as being a go-getter. But yes, as you can see here, just like Huffer and Road Ranger, Pipes and Puffer have the exact same accessory pieces, where you've got the actual smokestack axe attached to their arms, so you can basically flip in. So if you could just imagine this acting as an extension to Pipes' arm and having it actually come out of his wrist. Here having a fistless, having a... let me rephrase that. I almost twisted my tongue saying that. But yeah, if there was somehow a way of attaching the smokestack here at the edge of Pipes' arm, I'm actually just doing it by friction right there. Here it's ready to fall off as I'm speaking about it. But yeah, this is how Generation 1 Pipes' arms looked, where he had the smokestacks actually at the end of his arms. But make no mistake, I'm happy that Hasbro and Takara Tomy did give Pipes an actual pair of hands at the end of his arms, because it makes him look a lot more interesting. And again, out of all four of these figures, all four uses of the Kingdom Huffer mold, again, each one has its own unique head sculpt. So Robot mode is pretty much the mode where the four of them stand apart from each other, and I really enjoy the fact that all four of them have a different head sculpt, because you technically cannot say that either of these figures, that any of four of these figures is a straight up repaint from another one, since they each have a unique robot mode head. And to say that one figure is a complete repaint of another, technically it's not entirely true. So I really enjoy that Hasbro and Takara Tomy at least went the extra mile and gave the more recently created characters of Road Ranger and Puffer distinctive head sculpts. So Pipes and Huffer are special in that regard. So again, even though I mentioned the truck cab having the extra swivel joint so it faces the opposite direction of the robot head sculpt, there's also some other sculpted differences. I pointed this out in my review of Road Ranger and Puffer, but I'll point it out again here in Pipes' review. Pipes has a different sculpted robot mode chest from Huffer. I believe everything else is the same. I'm turning them around to make a look at them. Yeah, apart from the robot mode chest, another part that's different is the robot mode pelvis. That's another new sculpted part. Huffer has slightly more detail on him than Pipes does, and unfortunately, Huffer does have slightly more paint apps in robot mode than Pipes does. But again, Pipes having the bland, mostly navy blue with white highlights paint job, that's pretty accurate to his Generation 1 figure. The Minibots that were released in 1984, such as Huffer, they had slightly more paint jobs since the robot modes were pretty generic looking and didn't have that many features. And then when Hasbro retooled them and gave them sculpted parts that had a lot more detail on them, like actual robot mode heads, the engineering that went into the more sculpted detailing took away from the paint budget. So comparing Huffer and Pipes with each other as far as physical appearances go in their robot modes, it's a case of having less sculpted detailing with more paint apps, or more sculpted detailing with less paint apps. But I'm repeating myself at this point because I'm just overjoyed that I was able to get all four versions of this mold. And my camera is making the illusion right there that Pipes has white paint on his knees, but that's just an illusion there. And I knew he was going to fall over like that. So without further delay, the video, I babbled on long enough. Let's take a quick look at these guys in vehicle mode and wrap up the review. Alright, and so here is Pipes transformed into his vehicle mode. And again, it's a blue semi-truck, navy blue semi-truck. And again, as I said earlier in the review, even though Pipes was announced before Road Ranger and Puffer, he was released after they were released east through Amazon. So for most Transformers fans and collectors, Pipes is the last version of this mold that they've added to their collection. So pretty much at this point, apart from the way Pipes was treated in the G1 series, there's not much else of a distinction for him compared next to Huffer, Road Ranger, and Puffer in vehicle mode, other than his paint job. So again, here he is. Here is Pipes more close up with Huffer. They have almost the same paint highlights on the truck cab, with the headlights, the grille, and the bumper being metallic silver. The only difference is that Huffer's Field wipers are black, and on pipes they're silver. And again, one of the retool parts are the robot mode arms. Arms Huffer has this double square exhaust vents, while Pipes has more cylindrical shaped exhaust pipes on him, and that's because again, in the G1 on his G1 action figure, the robot mode arms were nothing but the exhaust pipes, the smokestacks. So if you want Pipes to look more like his G1 figure, you can attach his laser guns here to the sides of him and give him a ridiculously oversized pair of exhaust pipes for his vehicle mode. For me personally, I find attaching the laser guns besides the robot mode arms, even though it's a callback to the original Generation 1 figure, I think it looks sillier than having them here attached on the back end, acting as a pair of rocket boosters. I think that's a cool look for both Pipes and Puffer as well. Now, so again, for a distinction with Puffer, here he is. There are the roof lights. I think they're the fog lights or emergency lights. Pipes actually has two different paint jobs here on these the lights on his roof. The lights themselves are painted black, and then the rest is painted silver. Painted white. Right, whereas on Puffer, they're just entirely black. Huffer, his headlights are actually the unpainted clear blue plastic that's used on here, and actually, now that I look at it, yeah, that's the same with Pipes. I thought it looks black. My camera's making it look black, but it's actually the same clear smoky gray plastic that's used on Pipes' windshield. Same thing with Huffer. And so, in addition to having different head sculpts, that's another thing that these figures, all four of them have to distinguish themselves from each other, is different colored windshields. Pipes and Puffer's windshields look almost the exact same, but I believe are they the exact same? I'm trying to see. I think Pipes' gray plastic is a slightly darker shade than Puffer's, but yes, and then Huffer has the blue plastic for his windshield, and then Road Ranger has red on his windshield. And then another thing I'm noticing, I don't know if I pointed this out in my review of Road Ranger and Puffer, but another sculpted difference that Pipes has to further distinguish from Huffer is here on the hubcaps. Huffer has some bolts sculpted on him, while Pipes has smooth hubcaps painted on him, and these figures, the wheels don't really roll that well. Part of it has to do with the fact that right here on the front wheels, there is literally only a hairline of clearance space between the robot mode chest and the bottom of the tires. So if you have trouble rolling these figures around, it is because there isn't much clearance space on the wheels of these. But yes, overall, I do enjoy finally having Pipes out of his box. The way my table is angled at and the way I have Huffer here, he wants to keep rolling backwards. So for my final thoughts, do I recommend getting Kingdom Pipes and adding him to your Transformers collection? Absolutely I do. You cannot go wrong having Pipes in your collection, even if you have Huffer and Road Ranger in your collection as well. I do think all four of them standing next to each other make a nice decent fleet of small semi-truck cabs, and just like Huffer, they all have the exact same sized trailer hitch, so you can attach Pipes to Optimus Prime's trailer if you want to, if you are so inclined to do so. And one last thing I will point out is that Pipes does have his tail lights painted. That's one thing that a lot of Transformers fans and collectors have been complaining as that the tail pipes on their Transformers figures aren't really being repainted, don't have unpainted tail lights. But yes, again, I've babbled on much longer than I wanted to, so thank you to all my subscribers for your continued support. This has been the TFangy. This has been my review of the Transformers Kingdom Deluxe Class Autobot Pipes. I highly recommend you get this figure, even if you have every other version of this mold in your collection already. Eddies, thank you to Thank you guys all so much, and remember, stay safe, stay healthy, and until next time, you guys, transform and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.